what's your feelings? Oh, it's hard to ask this really, but what's your feelings kind of on the deaths? Because I'll be honest, I've been so caught up. We were in Sweden the other week, and I still haven't really, because MD's asked me to write an article on Cedric McMillan. Yeah. And I still can't get to grips with, I'm still trying to process Sean Roden and George Peterson. And now we hear Cedric McMillan has passed at 44 years old. What's your feelings?
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier, to be fair, driving up, because I was listening to the Milos podcast with Dennis James that I was talking about with 4 people on.
Yeah.
And they were discussing what might have changed from their era to now.
Good question.
Because a lot of people, less people died more frequently in their kind of era than present day.
It was there's a couple I can think of, Andres Munzer, Mohammed Benaziz, and then it was that was it. It was rare.
But I think a lot of those people were, the contributing factor was mainly diuretics, like in prep. Yeah. When there was leaner. Yeah. Not obviously in off-season or the growing phase, which have been, obviously apart from George, who was in prep as well. I don't know whether it's, a lot of them are saying dosages have increased. No, we don't really know that, because we don't know per se what they took back in the day, but they promised they took less.
But then the quality of today's stuff is probably, of what they're taking is probably underdosed.
Exactly, yeah.
So is it kind of, for me, it's relative.
Kind of can level out, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know whether you can just say, oh, it's just that.
Yeah, but then does it beg the question, is it because what they took in the past was pharmacy grade, clinically made, clinically tested?
Good point, yeah.
This present day stuff, it's going to be made anywhere. Someone's kitchen.
Yeah, no, that's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah, that's possibly the thing. I think another possible thing I've thought of myself, because I know I have pushed boundaries in terms of how long someone would stay on.
Okay.
I think a big thing from that podcast was that they took regular breaks. I think the breaks have become more irregular because of the pressures to get bigger, because of the pressures to compete at a pro level. Unless you are genetically gifted in the sense that you can have time off and still grow.
What's your feelings on this? It's just popped into my head. Yeah. There's more, if you remember, it used to be the Pro Ironman in February, Arnold in March, then it'd be the Night of Champions on New York Pro in May. Yeah. And there was very few shows in between. There were show seasons. Yeah. There was March, May, Olympia in September, post Grand Prix tour, and then after mid-October or late October, that was it until the Ironman in February. Yeah. Do you think now there's shows literally spaced equally almost right through the year? What do you think that's a factor?
I think probably so, because
for them staying on?
That would lead someone to stay on, yes.
Right, okay.
I think that could be a factor. The longer you stay on these things, the more likely they are to damage your health long term. Yeah. Even if you're getting regular blood work and you're doing what you think is necessary with the health supplements, you guarantee that staying on these long term, they're going to increase the risk of health, right? Let's look at someone like Cedric as well. So Cedric was always classed as the guy who could have been Mr. Olympia. Yeah, he's got all the gifts, all the tools, but never kind of really met anybody's expectations of himself. So 43-year-old Cedric perhaps saw his physique going a little bit backwards with his health conditions. Maybe, what do I need to do to compete with these younger guys again? Right. Do I need to take more? Do I need to stay on longer? Maybe there's things that we don't even know.
It's possible.
Because one thing I know about bodybuilding is it's very mental. And nowadays, more so than ever with the social medias and everything like that, a lot of it is in your head. And you're looking at things and you're processing it in your own mind. That will lead you to probably do other things than you perhaps know are logical or correct in terms of what you need to do to get back to your best or surpass your best or be on par with other people. The pressures are real. And I'm not saying there wasn't the pressure in the past, because the quality of the guys in the past were obviously great too. Yeah.
I think I don't know whether it's just more talked about now, but I don't remember or I'm not aware of bodybuilders doing that much blood work. I don't know whether they just did it and they just didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Because now it seems like, I mean, every bodybuilder I'm talking to now, literally, that I bring it up to, they go, well, of course I do. I get it. Yeah. Some are getting it once every 6 weeks, 3 months, twice. You know, it seems to be like a very, very integral part of being a pro bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But I just don't know whether, but the guys in the 90s, did they do that? Or did they just come off and then just, you know?
Well, funnily enough, on that podcast, they were saying that they had doctors that they actually went to see.
That's right, yeah.
The doctors would do their bloods.
Right, okay.
And they would actually prescribe them. Some of them would prescribe them gear. Oh. So they would prescribe them their cycles from the doctor.
Okay, yeah.
Which, I couldn't think of a better scenario, to be honest.
Well, yeah. Well, they're doing that now with the TRT clinics. I mean, I've heard, I mean, you've probably heard some of the, TRT really is what? A shot of testosterone a week.
Be, yeah.
But I've heard of like Deca, Anavar, Arimidex, GH. I mean, literally a full gear stack.
This is a good point.
TRT.
Yeah, this is a good point. TRT Plus.
Yeah. yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Because this is a very valid point. And I think one of the problems is these days is people aren't coming off. They're on TRT Plus when they're off. Whereas your Milos and your Chris Cormier may have came off and done a PCT, which is what I was taught to do when I first started, and then it was the blast and cruise. You don't want to. You don't want to let your testosterone drop, so you lose muscle, and get all the negative, depressive thoughts and things that come with such a severe hormone imbalance.
I used to crash a lot after a show. I used to crash completely because I never used to PCT properly. I was really bad at it.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I won't say obviously not going to say the name, but I spoke to a pro recently, last couple of months, and he didn't PCT at all.
Yeah.
He said, I just like to come off everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, no PCT?
No.
After he could have been doing a 12-week prep and then maybe several shows. So you're talking 16, 17, 18 weeks and then nothing. Yeah. Basically what I used to do. And I used to really have...
Yep.
I probably gave myself diabetes, in fairness.
Yeah. But I think that's commonplace now for people to do that. Not to PCT incorrectly in the sense that they don't PCT, they don't come off. So they might do 20 to 24 week on, full cycle to compete. And then 6, maybe 8 weeks on TRT or TRT Plus.